Shall we start with
Yep.
your presentation? Is sharing your screen, is that possible?
Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. 1 second. Let me.
No, I'm lost.
Can you see that?
Yeah, nice.
Awesome, 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 awesome.
This works.
All right, better now? All right, so
Great.
yeah, let's talk about generative AI in recruiting. I know ChatGPT has been the buzzword, and AI has been the buzzword for the past probably 3 months now. And we've been talking about AI for a long time. We just don't know that we've been using it. Or even on LinkedIn, even on like Facebook, all those fantastic ads that show up in our feed all the time are based on data sets from AI and predictions of what are the things that you like. So we see this type of thing everywhere. Now, the difference is now we have what we call generative AI. And generative AI is a category of artificial intelligence that's a technique and models that are designed to generate new and original content rather than just simply analyzing or reproducing data. So before you will get a data set, analyze it. So for example, like quality control in different industries, you will have big data sets and it will tell you, okay, maybe this is not right even for customer service, or I'm getting too many calls or recalls or things like that. Things are defective. We used to use it with data to analyze data, but not to create new data from already, data that you're feeding the system. And that's the beauty of what we have now. Generative AI models, like I said, are capable of learning patterns. And this is very important to understand. Patterns and structure from training that data and using that knowledge to create new and unique outputs. And this is super important because the large language models, like the ones that are used in ChatGPT, was it GPT 3.5, GPT 4, there's Claude, there's different models that are out there, are trained in huge amount of data. They had some limitations, and I want to say it was September 2021 where the data was cut out. 2021 or 2022. I'll apologize. I forgot the year, but that's kind of like the data they trained in up to that date. But what happens with that is we don't have control on the data that they have fed the system. So now they added another portion, which is the ability to search the web. But again, we don't have control of that. Basically, you give an instruction and ChatGPT will do whatever he thinks is appropriate, not necessarily what is appropriate to you. But we'll get into that. So as I was saying, these are a couple of pros and cons from using generative AI. And I see a couple of people that replied that they have been using ChatGPT for the most part. And I want to hear your experience in a bit. But basically, pros, obviously, creating new content that's creative, that's new, that's refreshing, and you can do video, and you can even clone your own voice and train with your own voice and create an avatar and create images and all that good stuff. Data augmentation means you have a certain data set that you want to feed into the system, right? A training, but now you want to have more information or similar information. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're looking for screening questions for a candidate, and you want screening questions for an engineer and mechanical engineer, and ChatGPT, and you have a list of 10 questions and you want more, you can say, hey, ChatGPT, I have this 10 questions. Can you provide me 20 more? Now you have more data to use for your day-to-day. So that's kind of what that means. You can have a small data set and then ask ChatGPT to expand that data set. It also works very well in simulation and prediction. So, and this also has been used in the past. Obviously, we didn't have the ability to chat with a bot to get this information. But in financial systems, and like I said, in quality control, they can also predict because of past information. So I used to study the market a lot, and the market movements are pretty similar. So you can simulate the market, future, right? And you can also predict what will be the future because of past history, past data. And potentially in recruiting, an application for that could be like Harris, right, was saying, when you have data from surveys or onboarding, now you can predict what could happen if this candidate act this way or act a certain way, for example. And then realistic media generation, which is kind of a little bit concerning, and we're gonna get to that, but it's really crazy how they now do videos that look like humans. You have AI and that's generating voice, which can be a little bit tricky because of also copyright issues and taking things out of context, and that leads me into the cons, right? The ethical concerns. There can be, obviously, there's people that are going to use this tool not in a good way, and we have to be very, very aware and very, I guess, keep our eyes open all the time to make sure that everything we're doing, it's for the good, right? And when you see people, doing it differently and acting in a way that's inappropriate, obviously report it. Intellectual property and copyright issues. We already had some issues with Samsung. A guy wanted to code something and uploaded the whole code for the company, which was probably something that they potentially will patent. So you have to be very careful what you put into the system. Try to use the majority of the public information or known information. If it's a candidate information, obviously don't send their email address and their phone number and things like that, and their address. Most likely you will use the LinkedIn profile if you're doing anything with that, which is publicly available, so you're not infringing anything there. The last two are, for me, the most important ones in terms of what you need to do to know to be able to control this thing. So one is bias amplification, and that means that the output is going to be as good as the data that someone provided to the system. So we have a large language model in ChatGPT 4 that somebody's put a data set, and that somebody made the decision on what data was good and what data was bad, right? So what that means is what is going to be generated is based on that data. So that person's bias or the way they think about social issues or politics or medical situations. We have this, the COVID situation where there were different opinions. One opinion might be pushed more than the other because you're not controlling the data inputs. So that's very important to understand. And a lot of people that I see using AI, I include myself, when I started using it, I was just prompting. And I will prompt and prompt and prompt and get very okay results, but not what I wanted to really get. Until I realized that for you to get something that is in line to the way you think or the way you act or the way you want to convey our information, you need to provide the information to the AI. And we're going to get that to that in in future slides. Another thing is lack of control. And this is why I tell people, don't memorize prompts. Because if you memorize prompts, you're gonna copy paste the prompt today and get a result. Tomorrow you might do the same thing and you're gonna get a different result. And this has happened to me many, many times. And this is why people get frustrated. Oh, this is not working. And it's because it evolves. Generative AI has two sides of it. So it has a data set. It predicts the best output. And what it does is it will predict the best word according to the data sets that it has. It's not thinker, is a doer. You as a person are the thinker telling the AI what to do in the context of what, and the context and control of what the output that you want. And that is something that people think it's like, okay, it's going to do everything for me. Well, no, you have to control it. So when it comes to lack of control, you have to be very specific on what you're doing and understand that this is going to change. The model is going to evolve. More data is going to be added. Now we have internet, and we don't control what part of the internet it's searching for. That's another bias, right? That's another lack of control that we have. So my best advice is learn how to talk to it, and think of AI like you're talking to another human being. Like if I'm talking to Stefan for the first time in my life, and I say, "Hey, Stefan, can you write me a LinkedIn post about recruiting for Digital Recruiter?" He's gonna give me something general. He has no clue who I am. He has no clue about my company. So if I don't provide him with a context of what I want that to look like, what is going to happen? It's just going to be something general, and probably is not going to give you anything that's usable. And I think that's something that a lot of us started to realize later when we started providing the data to the AI. So some of the apps, and I know Job in Cloud is not included here, but I actually talked to Michael a while ago, and they do have a lot of AI integrations, but this is other different different ones that I've seen and I've used in the past that are powered by AI, and some of them have generative AI. So MetaView, for those that don't know, MetaView is a new platform where you can have a conversation with a candidate over the phone. It records the conversation, transcribes the conversation, gives you the candidate submittal, and also gives you the highlights, and you can customize it however you want in terms of like questions that you ask and the response and things like that. So it's pretty cool. Hone It, I really like it. It's kind of the same as MetaView. It has a little bit more robust platform. It also records calls or Zoom. It has scheduling capabilities. It can record the call, transcribe it, submittals. You can have a CRM. You can send the information to the hiring manager, like a snippet of what the, snippet that you liked about what the candidate respond. You can send that to the hiring manager. And it also integrates with a lot of ATSs, so you can upload the data automatically. Fireflies is one of my favorite. I use Fireflies for all the conversations that I have on Zoom or any meeting. I think Stefan's using it now. I also create a lot of content with my voice, and I'll recommend everybody do that. I record myself talking, and I use the transcription to create my content, because that way it's my own words, and the generative AI understand, okay, Cristina wants to talk about this. This is the words that Cristina uses. So we're not gonna say something else when the information that she wants to convey is right there with the voice. So I use that a lot to create summaries from my calls, from the clients, and provide the action items. It does all that for you. Then we have Loxo, Bullhorn, Manitoul, and Job in Cloud. They all have the AI matching for like the job description. So you put a job description in, it will match some candidates, source some candidates for you. You can look at the AI matching and decide if it's good or bad. And then you continue training. So machine learning means you are giving feedback to the AI to say, okay, this is good, this is bad. And you can do that with ChatGPT as well. And that's how it improves upon itself. So I know Loxo has and Job in Cloud has automated outreach, but also AI generated outreach. I haven't tried that portion of it to be able to speak to it, but I'm sure Michael will do that. And then Manitoul as well. They all have AI matching. So you send the job description, it'll give you a couple of candidates that might be relevant. So let's talk about leveraging ChatGPT for searches and for recruiting. So when we are preparing for a search, we have to have all the relevant information, right? That we are going to provide to ChatGPT. We're not going to assume that ChatGPT understands anything that we're doing. It doesn't know what's the job description that we're working on. He doesn't know. We're going to assume it doesn't know anything about the company and the relevant information. Obviously, transcriptions maybe that you have with a hiring manager call or note that you took from that intake call might be helpful. Sometimes you don't need it. Candidate's resume or their LinkedIn profile, you can download it as a PDF and copy paste that into ChatGPT. So most likely those are the 4 things that you will use when you're sourcing for a candidate, in sourcing and screening and submitting a candidate. So that portion of ChatGPT use, you need to, I suggest to have at least those 4 or at least 3. You don't need the transcription for the hiring manager, for at least the first 2 and the last one you should have. Then what do we use ChatGPT for, and how I use it for? Company research. If you don't know the company, it can help you do research. Who is the company competitors? What products are they doing? What's the industry? What's the market size? What's the market in that industry in the coming future? What's the prediction? Optimizing job descriptions. Maybe the job description is not that enticing and we want to make it better. That's something that ChatGPT can do. Crafting messaging sequences, of crafting cool messages for the candidates that, again, are engaging. Identifying ideal candidates, their titles, their skills. And this is with AI matching and also like Boolean suggestions, candidate screening questions, and candidate submittals. Obviously, today I don't have time for all of that, but a lot of those tutorials I have on my page on the feature section. I'm going to show today 2 of the use cases that I've shown before, which is sourcing and then submitting a candidate using ChatGPT. And I literally copy what the steps are from my original PDF. So when you go look for it as a reference, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's start with sourcing with ChatGPT. You will see that I used Sales Navigator because that's my preferred tool, but you can do exactly the same thing with LinkedIn Recruiter. So remember I told you ChatGPT has no clue who you are, has no clue what you're about to do. So I always suggest people to prep the AI, meaning, hey AI, I am going to be doing this and I need your help doing this, okay? Because that way it understands exactly what are the steps that it's going to be completing. So this is what I prompt. My prompt is on the top. It says, hi there, I am a tech recruiter that will be conducting a search for a software engineer for Apple. Please learn the information on the company and the job description I will provide. Confirm that you understand the task. Okay. And it says, hello, I understand your request. You want me to learn information about Apple Inc. and a specific job description for a software engineer position at the company. And then it says, provide me the details and I'll do my best to understand and incorporate this information into the future responses. Okay, perfect. He understood what I want. Now, Apple is a very, very well-known company. And I apologize that this is very small, but again, you will be able to access all of this on my profile. So the first thing you do is you're going to add the company information so he understands the context of the company. So what I did is I just said, okay, here's the information to learn about the company. I literally copied the summary of Apple from the LinkedIn profile or any website that might have like an about or some sort of like short summary of what the company is. But obviously, everybody knows Apple. So then it starts generating like, thank you for providing the information. I understand that Apple is a company, blah, blah, blah. It kind of repeats of what I just told him or told it, sorry. And then it says, now please provide me with a job description, the software engineer position you want me to learn. So it already knows that he needs another step, right, to complete the task that I specify at the beginning. So here's the job description. So here's a full job description. And then I just copy pasted a job description from LinkedIn that Apple had open. Okay. So when that happens, it's again, it's going to repeat. Yeah, thank you for providing the job description. I have now learned the details of this sales engineer position. here's the summary, here's the key qualifications I got, the description, additional requirements, pay benefits, everything that you copy pasted into into the ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT has learned. So now he knows about the company. Now he knows about the job description. Now it's time for me to prompt, right? And this is now what I want to do, and specifically source a candidate for this. So I say, in my case, I said, act as a sales navigator expert. If you're using LinkedIn Recruiter or any other method, you can say, act as a LinkedIn Recruiter expert or any other, or as an X-ray expert, for example. And I said, provide filters, job title Boolean, and this is important because I use job title Boolean specifically versus keyword Boolean. There's two things. So I wanted to build a Boolean specific to the job title, and I wanted to build a keyword specific Boolean separately. And then I said for a lead search, because Sales Navigator has account and lead search. So I have to specify, because I've had the situation before where I didn't specify, and then it will mix the two filters. Okay. So for a lead search on Sales Navigator, to find candidates for the following company and job description. And I say be accurate. And if you guys don't know why I say be accurate, it's because sometimes if you don't say be accurate or don't hallucinate, that's another one that you can say, ChatGPT can make up stuff because it gets creative. So make sure that what you're doing is getting accurate information. So after I give the information on the company, the job description, now I'm asking, okay, I need you to help me source. So it says, to perform a lead search in the Sales Navigator for candidates matching their provided software engineering job description at Apple, you can use the following filters: job title, Boolean, and keyword. So it gives me the filter. So it's suggesting industry, computer software, information technology, electrical, electronic manufacturing, and internet. That's my industries. Locations, Cupertino, California, or nearby areas. Current companies, exclude Apple. So it identified that obviously we're not going to source from Apple. Job experience, depending on the level of expertise required, you might want to do mid, senior level, entry level. Years of experience that are ranged based on the requirements, which is 3 to 7 years. It's reminding you about the requirements of the job description. And then it gives you some keywords, which is software engineer and augmented reality, and gives you a lot of variations of things that you can use a keyword. And then at the bottom, yeah.
Sorry, 1 minute.
Oh, I have 1 more minute? All right, so I'll go fast.
Okay. Thanks.
So yeah, so essentially, it's just, it gives you all the information you need to source, and then you can ask to expand, and it will give you more of those. So candidate submittals, I'll go fast. Same thing, same concept. You will send the job description into ChatGPT and the company. Then this is myself, so I just copy my own LinkedIn profile, send it over there, and then I ask to provide me an email for a hiring manager for that job description and this candidate, and it will do it completely for you. Sorry guys, I'm very passionate about this, but all this you can find on my profile, so that's why I did it this way.
You never have to say, you never have to apologize, Christine. I really like how deep you go and help people to learn and understand, really understand it. Some people think, yeah, we're already using GenAI and everything, but most of the people just starting, because it's since November last year it's out. Everybody says, yeah, we're in the middle of the game. I think we're in front of the game, and there's just the anthems going. I really like your presentation. Are there some questions from the crowd?
Probably millions, since I went too fast.
No, yeah, of course. There's a question, there's a long question. I wanted to understand an industry use case on how you or your organization may have experienced an ethical bias firsthand, and how do you handle the same?
Oh, wait, where is it? I'm trying to read it. Okay.
Good question.
So okay. I totally understand what you're saying. And this is a problem, but this is not I don't think this is an AI problem. I think this is a human problem. Because the data set and how do you train the AI to think, it's how it's going to think, basically. That's why I said it augments the bias. So the bias is not coming from the AI. The bias is coming from the person that's training the AI. And that's what we have to really, really be focused on, right? What are the ethics behind it? I don't think it's going to substitute recruiters at all. This is more about how can we augment the capabilities of our recruiter to be faster, right? But then when you get to the screening part, that's where you are going to be able to determine if the person's qualified or not. Now, yes, there's a lot of things that can eliminate candidates, but again, it's just how you set up the system. Let me see. So, how can you talk about how to stop making? Okay, so it will make things up. It will make things up. Yes, it's tough. It's a tough one. That's why you have to be very specific. And my recommendation is feed it as much information that's reliable to you, that you know it's accurate from the get-go. And to finish up with the other Dr. Shora, like, I think biases are going to exist. It's part of human nature. How to mitigate that? It's going to be someone that is going to be more concerned, or I guess you have to have somebody that's controlling what the data inputs are. Now, what I see this going, and when I see this being very, very effective, is not as ChatGPT. It's going to be using ChatGPT as a base, but then building your own tool that has a use case for your business where you can train on your own data and then put more weight on the data that you're providing rather than the generalized data from ChatGPT. And that's coming up. I'm already in the talks with people that are producing something to build chatbots around your business cases. And I think that's ultimately what's going to be the difference. Oh, 100% ChatGPT over Bard. I don't like Bard at all.
Okay.
At all.
I have to, sorry, I have to stop it because otherwise we're getting out of our time. I love the questions. I think what we can do, Cristina, is I will send you the questions so you can answer, and we will also share that in a later stadium.
Yeah.
I really love your energy always. I love to talk to you. Maybe we can also ask you for next time. We're also trying to set up a Discord specific channel on this, where we do a weekly 30-minute session, how you can grow with AI, because AI doesn't stop. It's just there. I'm just sharing you a link. If you have some time, just try it out. It only asks you for 3 fields. It's your name, it's your email address, and put in a function there. And you will find out that within 2 minutes, you have a full job description as an inspiration in your email. But that's the thing that I like to build. I really love how deep you go and your passion in this. Cristina, may I thank you? And I see that many people are really happy with you. You received a lot of compliments. So thank you from all of us.
Yeah, no, and I'll continue to answer questions. So keep it coming.
Yeah, great. Hey, have a great week, because you have an athlete week. I thought you have an event.
Yeah, I'm here in Chicago with a volleyball event. So
great. Good luck. I will speak to you next week, but I will sum up all the questions. If you have time, I will share the invites and the attendees. Thanks again. Michael, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. And I also wanted to thank Cristina as well, as her introduction is basically goes perfectly in line with basically what I wanted to discuss today, as it gives you those best practices on what you should do or not do when using a generative AI, especially in particular with ChatGPT. And I, in fact, I guess wanted to go, I guess, one step backward as well and give a bit more of a general, I guess, discussion of why is it that generative AI has caught our interest this much? Why is it, I guess, why is it the talk of the year, I'd say, and it's probably also going to continue being the talk of the year as it always goes evolving. Why is it that it caught our interest this much? And in my opinion, the reason behind that was because, well, the generative AI makes our life easier. It helps us automate those tasks. It helps us automatically create those job descriptions, or it helps us automate creating those messages. It helps us speed up our workflow. It helps us, well, basically automate. And that's exactly what Drupal Cloud also does, as it's basically an all-in-one automation tool that helps in automating screening, automating identifying and screening and identifying, I guess, fitting candidates. It helps also in automating the outreach. But speaking of generative AI, Drupal Cloud also helps in actually combining the generative AI of ChatGPT into the automated